Hello, nice to have you, Brandy. I'm so excited you're here today with me. Thank you, thank you.
Of course, I'm excited to be here as well. Your programs have made such a difference in my life that I cannot stop telling people about it. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, so you joined us on our Flow Foundation for 8 weeks. So take me
Yes,
back almost 9 weeks ago, where you were. Can you describe how you were 9 weeks ago?
I can. I was feeling just overwhelmed. Nothing I would do would make up the difference, right? If I slept, if I exercised, if I did block schedules for my own time, it felt like everything was due right now. And as a teacher with students that have these needs, it was so overwhelming. I was uncomfortable in my own body. And I remember even starting the first 2 weeks, I was like, what is this? What is even this? And then by the third week, I started noticing little things because in that program it says, don't do anything, just notice. And that little was in the back of my head. Oh, just notice that student is doing that. Okay, I don't have to respond. And I think that was the biggest takeaway for me because I had been in such a everything is important, everything has to be done right now. There's no time to breathe, there's no time to stop. It's just go. And I was not showing up as a teacher with my whole self. I was coming to work with parts, and would get burnt out by the time students went to lunch. I would just sit in my classroom and put my head down because it was so overwhelming. And so each week, each new lesson built on the last one. And I was like, okay, now I noticed that. Okay, where did I get that? Where did I get that belief? Where did I get that? Why do I think everything is so important? And just unlocking that. And I felt like a tree that all the things that I didn't need started falling off. And
Mm,
so I just started feeling lighter. People at work started noticing a difference. As I shared with you in our group, that I had actually quit my job because I
mm,
was so overwhelmed, and I had not talked to my principal. I just sent her an email saying, "Hey, I'm quitting. Thanks, but this is not for me." And I had never had a conversation with her in person. She acknowledged it through the email, but we never had a conversation. And then in April, she came to me and asked me if I would come back and return. And so I just thought that doesn't happen in education where a teacher resigns and then the principal asks, "Hey, could you actually come back? Would you consider this?" And I think that's just a testament to my behavior, like how I was showing up at work. I started coming to work as a whole person and not bits and pieces. And all of a sudden, all the things that were chaotic in my classroom went aside. There's still things that come up, but I just have those tools now.
beautiful. So I remember meeting you on one of our Zoom calls when you were just coming back from work one day and you were searching on Google
Yes,
crazy and you found me immediately. You booked an appointment and I had a booking
yeah,
available. So I was like, that right after school, it
it
was
was
like we were
that
talking.
day.
Yeah.
It was at 3:30.
Yes, it was at 3:30. Yeah. You were so
Yeah,
exhausted on
I
that call.
again, it was like I just did not know how to get myself out of that cycle. And as I went through each week, I realized, oh, this is you start to look at things from a in a different lens. And what has been so grateful, what I've been so grateful about is that I'm able to take that and use it immediately, right? Where I've had lots of self-help program, not that this is a self-help program, but I've done lots of things to improve my own learning and how I show up in the world and with people. And what I really liked about this was the immediate application, right? Not sometimes you read something and you're like, that's a great idea. And then you have this space of, I don't know what to do with that information. And what's so great about your program is it's like, here's the information. You don't have to do anything with it yet. And then here's a little bit more information. You don't have to do anything yet. But hey, why don't you think about it this way? It's just this gentle, guided a journey, I think is the best way I could describe it.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So tell me about talking to your brain, because I love to hear that conversation that you have sometimes.
Oh, yeah. So talking to my brain, that was an interesting, I think that was a shift in my, like, I'm in charge of my brain's not in
Yes.
charge of me.
Yes.
And I remember being at work and there was a lot of chaos in the class. And I was like having this whole board meeting in my head. And I was like, hey, stop. I only need one person to talk right now. And so I basically, like, all those background things that were going on in my head, I was just like, stop. And like they all stopped. And then I was like, listen, and I just basically said, this is what I need from you, brain. I have to get these things done. So if you're not a part of these things, I need you guys just to go to the back. We'll deal with you later when I'm off work. And it was this, it sounds so silly, but it was like all of a sudden my body, like I felt the shift in my body. It was like, oh, we're not running old or hurts or anything. I was able to show up and be really effective. Also, I feel like my connection with my students is so better because I'm coming to work to be of service with them and to connect with them. And it's been such, this last 8 weeks have just been such a period of growth for me. And I'm
Beautiful.
eternally grateful.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see your face changed. You changed. You just said like a tree that just shredded everything that didn't need to be held on to, right? Everything was holding on to you and making you heavy. So seeing you drop all of that and then look flourish into a new, almost a new person. Doesn't it feel like a new person emerged?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like it. And it's funny because people who haven't seen me, and sometime I work at a school, so there's different people you can contact with on a, regular basis. And I had another teacher go, like, I hadn't seen her in about 2 months. And she's, oh my God, what is different about you? You are glowing, like you look. And I just thought, oh, wow. Started talking to my
Beautiful.
brain. I stopped
Yes.
fighting everything. It felt like that's what it really felt like. I felt like I was fighting everything. And now I feel like I'm in a place where, hey, if that happens, am I going to be okay? Yeah. Will it be great? Probably not, but that's okay. I'll still be okay. And so it's like, even if the hard things come, as they will, because it's still life, I'm not overwhelmed by it the way I was before. And it's funny is now I come into work and my morning time is usually when I do all of my teacher admin stuff. And I now just come in, I write down the things I want to get done for the day, and they all get done. Like those things never got done before. And so it's just amazing because I'm still have the same kids. I'm still in the same class. I have the same challenges, but I don't react in the same way. And so that has been such a difference for my
And how are
students.
how do you see the student responding to you now that you're in this state? How are their state?
It's so much easier. Like when I had my students work on something and I asked my principal, hey, could you come in and watch my students, they're fourth and fifth graders, do this thing that we've been working on. And it's a sight word game where a kid says, I have, who has, and there's 26 cards that they were spread throughout the room. And the kids did it all in under 2 minutes, and they all did it perfectly without barking at each other or anything like that. And my principal recorded it, was so excited, literally turned around and gave me a hug. And I was like, I don't hug my principal, but she was just so impressed with because it took so much time to do that, but I was able to make it fun, right? And then the learning was fun. And then I made it a little bit of a, hey, let's show our principal how smart we are. And their buy-in was there. It was it filled my bucket for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you've been in other programs, you said earlier, and you also been probably in counseling and maybe therapy. Sometimes we all go through things like that in life, right?
All
So
those
what was
things.
this? Yeah.
Yeah,
So what is
absolutely.
the biggest difference for you in this program? Did we ever push you to figure out your blocks, or did we ever say in the program, Tracy who was the one who was leading you in this program when you took it? Was she ever, you have to work on this or you have to work on this, or was it all self-discovery and self-awareness and self-noticing? How was it for you?
I think I touched on that before, that what I really did is that it wasn't this like, you have to fix it. It was just sit and just notice these things. And then once you notice these things, what are the feelings that are coming up? And so that separated the feelings and the events, right? Because I think that I was just carrying all those feelings. And so it just gave me a path in where I was able to more effectively manage my own emotions and my own thoughts and feelings, and separate myself from things. I was definitely one of those people who, if something didn't go right, I beat myself up. Oh, what did I do wrong? I never thought, oh, maybe I love one thing that you said about it. It's not that you're broken, but it's the capacity. And that piece was such, it helped me not be so mean to myself. Because it gave me that perspective of, it's not that I am a bad teacher because I can't deliver all these different things that are there. It's because I'm overworked. I've tapped myself out. I've drained the tank. There's nothing in there. And so this program, just by making you look at things and you just say, oh, it's a notice thing. And again, it was just gentle. It wasn't like you have to. It was it felt very smooth and effective. Like I said, there's immediate difference in I'm seeing from other people in my interactions.
Yes, now that you're in the classroom and you're seeing how you're responding, how important do you think all teachers should go through this Flow Foundation, at least minimum?
Honestly, we've had a conversation about different kinds of PDs, and I put this, and I was like, yes, this is
we're
just
ready.
something that can
We're
really
ready
just help
to.
us and help our kids. And I think that's the part that's really exciting for me, is that I was ready to just leave teaching and just exit it. And I jokingly said, I'll just go work at Costco. I was just, that is the, I was willing to give up the years of education that I have put in to just like go work somewhere. And now I'm like, oh, how can I use this to help my, right? It's like it recharged me. And now I'm excited about what could be next in my career, and like, how could I take what I know, and also just sharing the system that you've put together, because it was so effortless.
We're ready to.
Is the word I want to use. Effortless.
Yes. Yeah, because flow is that, right?
I know.
Return to flow is effortless. Flow is supposed to be beautiful. Flow is supposed to be exciting and beautiful. Yes. So when you're ready, yes, share it with your principal, and we're ready to come and host or even do a 8 weeks program for them, whatever it is. We can really bring this Flow Foundation, because we want this in the hands of every teacher. Because just like you said, my whole mission is that all these great teachers, you're a beautiful teacher, you could have left the system. Now you're back and you're excited about to be in the system, right? So that's the most important thing. We can't lose all the passionate teachers to Costco. We can't.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I use Costco just as a example, but it really was a recharge in my, and I remember why I wanted to do this, why it's important to make connections with humans, and also I feel like for me, it also just helped me get out of the noise that is in our society. Sometimes everyone's at each other, and I feel like now when I'm in those situations, I don't get caught up in that. I observe it and I think, oh, yeah, I see why they think that way, or how they came to that, how they got there, right? I have this deeper understanding instead of my own worldview of what I think it should be. And so it's just made living on the earth a much more delightful experience, because I'm not taken back or upset by people cutting me off anymore. I used to go, right now I'm like, oh, I guess you just had to be somewhere more important, and that's okay. And I just let it go. I don't hold on to those things anymore. So it's great in education, and it's also just great in everyday life.
Yeah, you're living in flow. Flow is just relax, right? Relax,
for sure.
Settle into your own body, come home to yourself, and then experience everything from peace.
Yeah, that's said perfectly. Is that I felt like I was coming from anxiety, fear, frustration. I was operating from all of those places. And now I'm like, huh, yeah, I could do this. It's okay. Like, I also just have more confidence in myself, which I never have had confidence in myself. I've always struggled with my own value, and this helped me see myself as valuable. And I think that part is so important. And it's one of those things, like when I'm with kids, I'm always like, they have to feel important. But then I look at myself and I'm like, wow, you don't really think you're important. And so this is, again, folded in. I'm important. You're important. Everyone's like, we all have our value. We all have something to share and give. And so I'm really,
absolutely.
it's been great.
I just love the change. I love the change and transformation that has happened to you over the past 9 weeks. I'm excited for what's next for you. And also, I wanted to say that you did the work. Even the noticing is sometimes we need to be patient with ourselves, right? And we need to give that grace and space so that things can transform like this. So you did the work and now you're enjoying it, and your students are going to receive that as well. So we're so excited. So if a teacher is thinking to take this, and they think, a lot of teachers think, oh, this is another Prodi Day thing that I don't really need it, or it's just another mindfulness thing, what would you tell them?
I would say I thought the same thing, and it was not those things, but it exceeded my expectations.
Thank you.
Because I remember even asking you, I was like, is this mindful? Like, I've done a lot of mindfulness, right? And you're like, nope, it's not mindfulness. And I was like, oh, okay. And I would agree with you. It's not mindfulness. It's just a way of
coming home,
checking in with your body, coming home, checking with your body. And like, I have a home base. That's how I would describe it. I go out in the world, and if I need to remember who I am, I go back to home. I go to my home base. I check in with myself. I remind myself of my value and worth. And then I tell brain, like, hey, I feel like you're really overworking at this problem. You can take a break, and I'm going to let somebody else who can look at this in a fresh way. And that's what happens in my brain. All of a sudden, the worry and stuff kind of slows down, goes in the background. And within a reasonable amount of time, it seems instant.
Sort out.
I'm all the way calm. Yeah. And even when I'm interacting with my students, I feel like, oh, I'm calm. And so I can be calm with you and not get worked up into all the things that come with being a special ed teacher.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for being part of this. And thank you for continuing to share with other teachers. If you have anybody who's interested, you know where to reach out to me and to us. And we're going to continue this mission to serve 1.5 billion humans by 2035. So you're one of those people who's going to create that ripple effect. I know that. So thank you.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kahila. I'm beyond grateful. Thank you.